Okay, good evening. It is Debbie Davis. It is Wednesday, June 12th. Okay, so doing an update, doing another video tonight. We just have all kinds of stuff going on here in Minneapolis. The police are losing. They haven't been funded in multiple cities here are not funding the police because we have so much corruption. The police are so corrupt, and also things are coming out like in the past. So this is what. Please do this in your city across America, because you just make the decision on the council level or the city levels to not fund the police because they are not doing their jobs. Okay, and then we also have things coming out here. And not only they're not doing their jobs, they're abusing and murdering innocent people, like I've said, and the state senators and the state police are all involved in human trafficking. Okay, and I can and the person that's after me personally here is Senator Amy Klobuchar, and because I was a huge part of exposing John McCain in Arizona. Well, I didn't know at the time that everything that I was reporting from that military base in Arizona involved McCain, but it turned out to mostly be involving him, and that's what the Trump campaign found out. And so she's here. Amy Klobuchar was buddies with him, and so she's got it out for me here. So she made sure that I was pulled over by the state police like 33 times. That's her buddies. The state police are the ones who are the ones. Here's her and Bernie Sanders, and they're all Democrat buddies. Amy Klobuchar is my enemy. Keith Ellison, this Omar woman, because I've talked about her. They're just worthless. They're worthless politicians, and they get protected by the worthless police. And so we just can't fund these people anymore. And so one thing and a very important thing that people that I want to read, and that what people are starting to realize is the steps that you can take locally, things that you can do is okay, so Megan, let's see, I'll find her channel here, but Madison, Madison, this one girl, she's this blonde girl. She's used to be in Hollywood, and she was involved in I guess the whole Hollywood scene, and now she's outing some of these people and whatever there, but then she also kind of got out of that whole Hollywood scene and became like a lawyer, and she's helping teach how to go after these people legally, how we can, because we need to legally remove these people, because the United States corporation that they work under has been dissolved. It was dissolved in 2019 by President Trump. Okay, so here's kind of the summary of what happened. The U.S. corporation, formerly owned by the King of England, was a British corporation registered at the People's House in London, England. There was a Chapter 13 bankruptcy action filed by Donald J. Trump in London, England on July 15th, 2018 in the United States. Okay. The inability to pay. Okay, in the morning of July 16th, 2008 in England. Okay, so the reason for that filing was insolvency, inability to pay off debt that the U.S. corporation now owed to the Republic of the United States of America. Okay, because he dissolved the U.S. corporation and brought us back to a republic. We are now a republic of America, and we have been since 2018. Back to what the founding fathers, we were a republic. That's what our country was founded as the Republic of the United States, branched off from England, and that was the whole point, because to be free of this British rule. And then it somehow happened again throughout history. Okay, so for the reason for that file, okay. So, discovered during an audit, the Federal Reserve banks had stolen 78.4 trillion US dollars over the life of the contract started between the Rothschilds and FDR in 1933 to bring banking back to the US after the Great Depression. The penalty for violating that contract was the loss of their assets, the World Bank, of which the Federal Reserve banks in the US was a part. A part of the World Bank was seized by Donald J. Trump on behalf of the Republic. So that is how the U.S. corporation became indebted to the Republic. Donald J. Trump, on behalf of the Republic, gave the U.S. corporation notice with the bankruptcy filing that the U.S. corporation would be dissolved through bankruptcy, and all assets of that U.S. corporation will become the property of the Republic. A throne regained the throne as King of England. Genetics was used to prove that he was a true living descendant of the bloodline of King England. That is why the former queen is no longer in power. Yeah, the Queen Elizabeth is dead, and the Queen and the over there. There's nobody even in the castle over in London anymore. They're all gone. One of the first actions taken by the new King of England was to give Donald Trump full control over the U.S. corporation. Later, as the sole owner of the U.S. corporation and the lands owned by that corporation, the King accepted the resignation of Donald Trump as president of the U.S. corporation and swore Donald Trump in a president of the Republic of the United States of America. Okay, the Republic, the original form of the government of the United States, had been abandoned when the U.S. corporation took over our country after the Paris Treaty. The maturation of that aforementioned Chapter 13 bankruptcy filing was set for 18 months later, January 19th, 2020, at 11:59 Eastern Standard in the United States. Inauguration day for Joe Biden would have begun at 12 a.m. on January 20th, 2020. Since the British U.S. corporation officially ceased to exist 1 minute before that date and time, there was no legal way for Joe Biden to be inaugurated as president of the U.S. corporation. Joe Biden did not run for office as president of the Republic of the United States. Only Donald Trump did, as evidenced by the non-gold fringed American flags being displayed at most of his campaign rallies. Proof of this can be seen on video, starting with the campaign rally at Mount Rushmore. After that, there were many times that is visible during the rally that there were unfringed flags flown on most of those events. The gold-fringed flags being flown at all government offices are displays intended to show the population of our country that our government was operating under British maritime law, also referred to as Admiralty law. The flag of the Republic of the United States of America has no gold fringes. There's a big difference when it comes down to the legal intent and purpose. Donald J. Trump is no longer president of the defunct corporation. Okay, as such, he has no power over the former corporate officers but as the sole president of the republic. Okay, has power over the military might of this country. It is the military that is arresting and prosecuting former government officials for treason and other crimes against humanity. They are being tried in military tribunals in multiple different locations. Yes, these are still going on. These tribunals are still going on. I don't know. There's just been a lot of different confusions going on. But yeah, they've been going on in different places, and they're still going on. Okay, they're being tried at military tribunals. Okay, so they're being most have already been. A lot of people have already been tried, and actually we're seeing what you're seeing in the news, and on TV and everything are people's clones. I mean, you're seeing people's clones, like even Trump, like in the court. That's not the real Trump. Okay, I mean, a lot of these people are just. I mean, I know it's how crazy it sounds, but they a lot of these people have already been tried for treason, and what you're seeing are either people with masks or their clones or something. I mean, this clone technology has been around in the DARPA underground military bases for decades. They've been able to clone people, and I didn't know how advanced this was until just a few years ago myself. But they have been able to clone people for years. So they've been doing this to with CIA and to fake people out, and they can program the clone to do whatever they want, and it's really scary stuff. But a lot of these people have already, like in some of our a lot of these people all over the world, have actually been tried for treason already. I hope this explains why the corporation is no longer exists. Our country is not ready for the news that they have been lied to and taken over by a British corporation being run by the forefathers that have given our country away during the Paris Treaty. July 4th, Independence Day, had lost its meaning long ago, unknown to the population. The people of this country had become property belonging to the corrupt corporation. Yeah, they just think of us as their property. Okay, like we're like property traded on the world's market for value to borrow against. This is yeah. Anyway, so all right. Okay, so that kind of explains the history. Is that in 1776 is when our country got became a republic, away from England, and then somehow in like 1890s or whatever, 1890 or something, it became a U.S. corporation, and it was either corrupt presidents, corrupt Masonic, the Masons, I believe, the Masons, and the other thing is that my understanding is that when our country was first, like George Washington was a Mason, but the Masons were not corrupted until the 1700s, is my understanding. Okay, so there was the Knights Templar, original Knights Templars, and they were protecting the biblical relics, the original biblical relics, and then most of them got murdered. They were set up for treason. What I heard is that like King Philip of France or something owed them a lot of money. They were like the banks at the time, and they were very wealthy. the Knights Templar. They had all the all the money from the churches and all the relics and everything, all the gold, and they were very wealthy, and they would like lend out to people, and they were like the original bankers, I guess. And I think what happened is this King Philip or something owed them a lot of money, and he I guess, came up with this plan that, if I don't have, I can if I can take them, if I kill them all, then I don't owe them anything. Kill them all and take everything, and then I don't owe them anything. So he somehow set up some kind of a trap, an entrapment for them, and called them, made up something and said that they were involved in treason or something, and had them all murdered. And that was on Friday the 13th, 1307, and that's where we get this whole Friday the 13th as like an ominous day. That's when the original Knights Templars were all murdered, and this is when the Masons started taking over. But the Masons weren't like totally corrupted at that point, but then they got super corrupted and completely taken over by the Illuminati in like 1700s. So all the Masons are all corrupted now. It's all Illuminati. They all work for the Illuminati New World Order agenda, the Masons. Okay, so that's kind of the history, but originally George Washington, way back then, they weren't corrupted. Like he was actually Christian, and this country was based on Christian values, and there was a lot of Christians here that came over, and there's a whole history there, and so and actually this I've been watching a lot of these Scott Walters. He's from Minnesota, and he had that show America Unearthed, and it talks about the whole history, the real history here of and I'll include that link. But he had a whole series, America Unearthed, that was amazing, and it was actually originally started when he was asked to go see this rune stone in Minnesota called the Kensington Rune Stone. Okay, and this is a rune stone because he has a forensic lab, and he studies stones all over the world, and he gets asked to do the analysis for these type of things, and it's brought him to all these different places in the world, and it's just fascinating. And so they did a whole show about it. But this Kensington Runestone had this this certain type of cross, and it's a cross with an X on the bottom, and those were the original Christians. Those were the original Christians coming over here in a certain bloodline. And there was and this Kensington stone had 22 of those crosses, those special crosses on them. They were all Christians in a certain bloodline that arrived here in 1890 or something like that in Minnesota, or 1907 or something like that. And so and then he just got, and then they've tried to cover this up here for years now. The truth about this, and then and some of these stones and some of these symbols on these stones, that they were Christian, and they weren't. The Catholic Church is a part of is trying to cover this up of our real history here. So I would encourage everybody to go hear his series. You can pull it up on YouTube, America Unearthed, and he's just uncovered all kinds of stuff about our real history here. And so I've been watching a lot of his shows and learning a lot myself. But so anyway, okay, the other thing I want to touch on is so the other thing is that, you know, the police are, like I said, I mean, there's people just standing up here in Minnesota that are just, you know, local people that have had, you know, bad situations themselves with the police. And then we've had all this whole slew of all these murders where they've never been held accountable at all. No accountability. I mean, how can you be the law? You know, be a police. You are the law, but yet you're above the law. You have immunities. You are the law, but you don't have to follow the law yourself. Oh, that would be really sweet. What a sweet job. God, where do I sign up for that one? You know, I mean, who wouldn't want that type of job? I can do whatever I want and get away with it. You know, I mean, who wouldn't want that type of job? You know, and they're so arrogant, you know, because they know they can get away with anything. And the level of disrespect that they have always showed me, and just total lack of, like, anytime I've gotten a police report, it's just like it goes nowhere. Like, I mean, they don't do anything with the police reports. They just, you know, they file these reports, but there's never any follow-up. It just gets, like, thrown into a garbage. There's never any follow-up from your police reports. They just go into a garbage. There's no investigations going on. You know, they don't do anything. There's absolutely no follow-up. There's no investigations. They are not doing anything. All they're doing is cover-up after cover-up after cover-up. And on top of it, they're involved in a lot of murders, and then they've put innocent people in jail. I would say probably 40% of all of our jails have innocent people because of the police negligence or intentional. You know, a lot of it is intentional. They're targeting certain people, or they screwed up, which they always do, or they were involved in the murder themselves and they were just pinning it on somebody, because that's happened all over the place in South Dakota. They're murderers out there, and then they just pin it on somebody. They're the main murderers committing all the crimes out in South Dakota are the police, and then they just, oh boy, we got to see who we can pin this one on. You know, I mean, I've talked about my South Dakota sheriff multiple times. The sheriff, you know, the sheriffs out there are just flat out terrifying. So, you know, I've talked about that multiple times. But there's just one thing that came out today at KARE 11 News, how they're, you know, now finding that this one guy had been in prison for 25 years. And then now they're just finding now that he was wrongfully convicted. He's completely, so it's been determined now that he's completely innocent and that he was not involved at all in the crime, and that the blood was actually cat's blood instead of not even human blood. And this is how dumb the police are. You know, they were involved in just, you know, basically falsifying the whole evidence, you know, and so this guy has falsely been involved in, you know, in prison for 25 years. You know, I mean, all this kind of stuff is probably going to start coming out, you know, because this is like all over the place. This is in every single state. There's probably, I would say, half of the prisons have innocent people. Because the police's mistakes and misconduct, and they target people like they're targeting me, and just today, you know, state police driving right by me, you know, we've got things going on here. We've got some unmarked weird looking cars. Just yesterday, coming back from Dairy Queen or Wendy's or whatever it was. I mean, there's like these two unmarked cars that are rigged to look like they have cages in the back, but then they say Guardian Interceptor on the back. I'm sorry, what's a Guardian Interceptor? Is this like some new thing you just made up because you know the police are corrupt? You know, I mean, you know, we got all kinds of crazy stuff. They're trying all kinds of stuff to just, you know, but because the police are not being funded, so then they're coming up with all, I don't know where these vehicles are coming from, you know. I mean, I just document it and I take pictures of them, and because I mean, we don't trust these politicians here are crazy. We don't trust them at all. They're we have. But I mean, it's not just here; it's everywhere. But Minnesota also, it never used to be this way. It's just when we started getting all these Democrats in here. I mean, it's just, and I'm a big target, and I know that. But I do have people watching out for me, the military, and but then now, I told you that I was fired wrongfully, and it's not, like I said, I'm thankful that I was, I mean, it wasn't a bad place to work at the time and everything, but it was just. But now, I mean, I'm just blown away how corrupt this company is. I mean, now they're denying my unemployment. I mean, I worked there for it said I was eligible for $11,000 of unemployment, at $471 a month. I just got that last week. But then now today, it says that I got this saying they're denying my unemployment now. And now, okay. Discharge for misconduct? Really? Oh, really? I never even got so much as a write-up. And I've requested verbally, you heard me right in the video, I requested verbally and for the written reason why I was let go. Because I was not given any reason. I was just taken in, at the end of the day saying, we're going to let you go now. And for no reason. Okay, and I still haven't been given a reason. So they just now, this is another. So this is now a criminal matter, a major criminal matter. There was no misconduct. Everybody at the workplace knows that there was no misconduct. I came to work and I did my job and I went home. There was never any complaints about me. There was never any write-ups. There wasn't anything. Okay, so this is, now you're just basically openly trying to abuse veterans, and basically you're trying to kill me. You are a part of trying to kill the veterans, and this has really stepped it up to a whole new level now with this company, this Wagner Corporation. Okay, now you're just I mean, I didn't do a thing wrong, and everybody knows that at that job. Okay, they are so completely in the wrong. So now it's so what do I have to beg for the veterans? We got Mexicans coming in here taking our job, and now the veterans have to what do I have to beg for money now? So now we're gonna end up homeless. See, this is how the veterans end up homeless. This is what this is how the companies are treating us, and this is how our government is treating us. And so that is why we have to step it up to a whole new level now in fighting against these monsters. These people are illegally in power because they work for the U.S. corporation that has been dissolved since 2018. Okay, the corporation that Amy Klobuchar, Keith Ellison, Omar, all these people, they got in power years ago under the corporation, and that corporation that they work for has been dissolved, and so they're not even legitimately in any of these positions. So we have to just remove them. We have to step up to the plate and get organizations. Get organized locally, and this Madison, okay, what's her? Sorry, I'll find her channel here, and I will send this link. Let's see. Yes, right here. Okay, so this is
some federal lawsuits.
Okay, Madison Marquette.
And
okay, Madison Marquette. She's talking about
me and threw me in and out of the jails
Okay, right here. So look up Madison Marquette's channel, and she has become like an independent lawyer, and she's got her last video just from a couple days ago, the prison system and the cabal courts, how to fight the prison system and the cabal courts, and she can help help us fill out the proper paperwork to get these people served, to get them properly removed, because you are no longer working officially. You're not in officially in your position legally anymore, because the corporation that you work for has been dissolved years ago. So you need to be removed now. Now it's time for you to go, because we are now the Republic of the United States, not the U.S. corporation. So you don't work for us anymore. You're fired. Okay, I like to say that because Trump liked to say that. Okay, so you're fired. You're all fired. Every single one of you politicians, because you're all dirty, and you all just need to go, because you're not even supposed to be in these positions anymore. So we just have to figure out how to get them out. Get them out. They have no business being there. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to say at this point, and tonight. And then so my P.O. box here, I got a P.O. box. If people want to write to me, yeah, okay, so if you want to contact me, my P.O. box is P.O. Box 141 in Hopkins, Minnesota 55343. And if you want to send a donation, any donations, I would appreciate it, because I'm having to fight this now, and not have unemployment coming in or anything, so I have served my country honorably. I got all these awards. I served, and then I just volunteered my time and helped President Trump for 4 years. And then I've done these videos for 8 years, just serving my country. I've never been paid a dime for any of this, and this is how I'm treated by my country. Okay, so I could use some help at this point, since other people are coming in here and taking the veterans' jobs, and now we have to apparently beg for money now, because this is the kind of government that we have. Okay, so this is not okay, and this has to be stopped. And so any help would be appreciated. Okay, thank you.